Hello everyone, today we are going to be going back over a video I made about a year ago, and that was investing in the Scarlet and Violet era sets. We'll see how we did. I will admit I got some really wrong, but I got some really right. So let's see how I did and how I would rank them now. So this is how I ranked them originally. I had Prismatic Evolution and Paldean Fates at number one, and I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think Paldean Fates did quite as good as what I was expecting, and as most of you predicted, 151 did really well. It did higher than expectations, but I will admit when I was doing this originally, I was not looking at necessarily 1 year as my time frame. But Black Bolt and White Fire have done pretty well. Surging Sparks has done pretty well. I gotta say, Destined Rivals being that low was definitely the pick that I should not have done. But let's get into where I went wrong and where I would put them now. Alrighty, I want to go over the things that I think I got wrong. Of course, we just talked about that a little bit, but let's see if I can get it right this time. I renamed the categories to Sell Your Kidney, Probably Gonna Make Money, Mid, Trying to Burn Your Money, and To Avoid at All Costs. I believe there are a good number for each of these categories, and I will say if I got anything wrong, I will be addressing it because I want this to be kind of as productive as we can get. And we are going to start with Scarlet and Violet. This is something that I think you should avoid at all costs. Just the base set. We talked about it last time with the Gardevoir really being near $90. And the thing is it's fallen since then. Pokemon's really only gone up in the last year. There was a little bit of a dip a couple months ago, and then a couple months before that. That's just kind of how the market goes. But for all of the cards, to go down, the chase of a set really typically isn't that. Scarlet and Violet has quite a few over $40 cards. Like you have the Gardevoir, like I said, you have a Drowsy, you have a Ralts, and a Slowpoke, and a Curlia, depending on who you're buying it from. The thing is they just aren't really that appealing of cards. Like the sealed stuff for what you're getting inside of it really isn't the best of prices either. I think you're overpaying for the sealed just to kind of get underwhelmed by the cards because I don't want to pay 300 bucks for a booster box to maybe pull a $90 card. I would prefer to, you know, buy a booster box for that same price, but maybe go for a card that's worth, say, $1,000 or something like that. But I do want to say, if I'm putting it in a category, it is going to be based off of whatever's at the end here is the worst of that category. Whatever's at the front here is the best of that category. And I might be moving things around as we get to comparing things. But let's move on to the next. I still think Paldea Evolve is kind of mid, but let me talk about why. I absolutely love the Magikarp in it. Don't get me wrong; it's about a $400 card. You have a couple other cards that are right around $100. You have the Raichu, you have a Mousehold as well, but they kind of start falling off a little bit after that. You have a Tyranitar at about $70, then an Iono at about 60, and then we start moving down with like Meryl and Chiyu right around $50. The thing is a lot of the sealed for this is very expensive nowadays. Like I keep saying, I love the Magikarp, but I don't want to pay almost $500 for a booster box or say $220 for an ETB for something that may not even cover my costs. Paldea Evolved, like I keep saying, is more of a one trick pony, but the Raichu is getting close to $100, so I would say maybe it's a two trick pony instead of just a one trick. But let's move on to the next, and that is going to be Obsidian Flames. And the reason I have this in burning money, haha, it's the Charizard set, burning money, but it's more that you really need one specific card from this, or you're not getting much from it. There is absolutely no cards in here that is worth over $100, just ungraded. You have one that's at about $95, and that is the Chase Charizard. Do you see kind of the problem with that? We have so many Charizards from this set, and not even the Chase can surpass $100. After that, it falls from about 95 all the way down to less than $40 for each of the other cards. Now, I also want to say that this is really not that good just because a lot of the sealed in the form of ETBs is very expensive. If you get the Charmander promo and you are sending it off to grade it and you get a 10, you get a ton of value from it. But that's what people are doing. They're chasing that PSA 10 Charmander, and most of the time, they miss and they don't get the PSA 10 and they get frustrated, so they buy another and they keep sending it off trying to get that. And the thing is that makes ETB prices super high. The booster box is about $370 ish, which, I mean, for a booster box, it's okay, but it's really not that good when you think about the prices of the cards inside of it. But the ETB by itself is almost $300. You get significantly less packs. The only reason it's worth that much is because of that Charmander. And don't get me wrong, I love the Charmander. I have a PSA 10 in it, but that might be why I seem so nonchalant about it. But this really is not that good a set, so I think I might actually move that down. But it's subject to change as we move a little bit forward. I think 151, and this is where I really need to kind of come out and admit I don't. I got it wrong. I'll say it. I got it wrong. Mason was wrong. You heard it here first. I'm sure my fiance is going to clip that. But anyway, so a lot of the prices for the sealed are really not that good anymore. If you caught this in the past year, I would say that you should sell your kidney. I'd put it in the category above. But I still think 151 is pretty good, and I don't think it's because of the cards. I think, excuse me, the card arts or anything like that. I think it's just because of nostalgia. I absolutely hate this set. I think it's terrible. I think the arts in it are bad. But if we're going to look really at the card values as we have objectively for the rest of them, so I can't just rant about it, the Charizard, I think, looks terrible. I think we have much better Charizard arts, but this one's still worth about $375. And all the card numbers that I say are raw cards, they're not anything graded, unless I specifically say so. But you jump all the way from 375 and you fall all the way down to $130, and that is what the Blastoise is worth. And then next place you have Venusaur at about 110, and then you drop to about 90 with the Zapdos and the Squirtle and the Charmander, and it really kind of falls off a peak if you don't get one of the three main Pokemon from the starting line. The thing is it's very expensive now. So I would not actually buy more of this. I truly think you'd be burning money. But the thing is the prices just keep going up and to the left. And if I'm going to be objective like I am with the rest of these, I can't see really anything beating 151 except for maybe one or two other sets. So then we will move to Twilight Masquerade. I think this, as I said last time, is very similar to Paldea Evolved. We have the Greninja EX carrying hard. It is worth about $350. And to be honest, there actually no, I'll put it above Paldea Evolved. And the reason for that is the Perrin is about $150. So they have two cards that are over $100. That's normally the sign that you have some really good chases that set and people really like it. The booster box is about $340, which isn't terrible for what's in it. It's certainly a better value proposition than if you were to do Paldea Evolved, but the ETB is like $105. It's great. If it, of course, you can say that those are scalper prices and things like that. But compared to what some of these other costs are, I think Twilight Masquerade is really, really good, and it's fun to open. You can get the really cool looking Eevee family card. That's worth about $83. And if you don't like the fact that I'm talking about what these cards are worth, this may not be the video for you because this is talking about investing in cards. Um, you also have the Chansey, the Carmine, the Blood Moon Ursaluna. It really has that really cool foresty theme. And the thing is I love the arts here. I'm not the biggest fan of the Greninja. I will be honest. I don't think very many of the Greninja like artworks on the cards look the best. I feel like there's one or two promos that look really good, and the rest of them just kind of do too much when Greninja has ninja in the name. If you'd make him like stealthy like or something like that, I think it'd be great. But we will move to Paradox Rift. And I really don't think you're going to be getting very much from Paradox Rift. To be honest, there is one really good card in it, and I absolutely love the look of this card. I will be very blatant in saying that. It's the Groudon. The Groudon's worth about $110, and I think it looks amazing. And I know it sounds like I'm speaking, like I'm really hyping up some of these cards and I'm really trashing on others. But the thing is if I were to want to collect some of these cards, like Groudon isn't necessarily my favorite Pokemon, but I think the art looks great. I really commend the artist on that. The Altaria is worth about $50. The Morpeko is also worth about 50. Then it really falls off. It goes down to 40 for Roaring Moon, about 40 for Plusle as well. But the prices on this really aren't that bad. It's about $290 for a booster box, which is, don't get me wrong, quite high. But if you want the booster bundle, I don't know why I can't see the ETB. A booster bundle is like $40. And that's one of the better prices that you're going to get for booster bundle is $40. Booster box is about 290. Um, but let's move to Shrouded Fable. I think Shrouded Fable has kind of had a little bit of a glow up here recently, and this was one of the ones I put down here at avoid at all costs. I rank it above Obsidian Flames for the main reason that the prices are so low. I think there's a chance that you can make some money on it. The booster the the booster bundle display is about, you know, 600 or about $575. The ETB is about $120. It has some cool Pokemon in it. Like, I will say I love this Persian. This is actually a card that I bought for my fiance because she thought it looked really cool. It's a cat looking at its reflection in the window, and our cats do that. So it's kind of cool. You also have a cool looking Duskull in it, and you have a really cool Houndoom art. And of course, this is where Pheasantipity is at about $40. So you're not losing too much by looking at Shrouded Fable. If you want to rip it, I think it's a good idea instead of just keeping it. And that's about what the rule is for anything. Are you trying to burn and down? I wouldn't really recommend ripping anything up here unless you really want it. If you're trying to make money off of investing on cards, you kind of have to stop that internal want to open up the packs. But let's move on to the next with Temporal Forces. We have it. I think it's, you know, I think I'm going to put it lower than Shrouded Fable, but hear me out. The sealed prices, like the booster box, they're pretty high. I'm going to be honest. The booster box is worth about $295, which is kind of crazy for Temporal Forces when you think about it, because the Ghastly, the kind of the top value card in the set, is worth less than $100. And then you have Raging Bolt as the next most expensive, and that's only about 65, and it keeps getting a little bit lower. Morty's Conviction's about 65 as well. You have the Gengar EX, which is about 60. It's really not the best. I truly am kind of disappointed in the set for the cost of the booster box, at least. But let's move in to one that I said was going to perform better than 151, and I still put it on the same tier. I really think Paldean Fates is a great set, and I still do. Bubble Mew is just shy of $1,000 for that card. But a lot of the sealed is absolutely crazy expensive. And if I was talking about these falling off a cliff after the chase card to the next card, Paldean Fates really is that too. The sealed stuff, like I said, I'm going to move it down. I'll be honest. I'm going to move it down based off of the next card is only worth $160. Then the next one after that is worth about $80. But if you look at the price for the sealed, there's like the sealed Charizard EX tins are worth almost $200. The Great Tusk and Iron Threads premium collections worth about $240. I apologize. I apologize. I was wrong. The Mew then goes to the Charizard EX, which is about $300. I was incorrect. I completely forgot about the Charizard EX somehow. So I will put it back up there to sell your kidney for it. You do have quite a bit of chance to get some good cards, but there really is a low chance, I'll be honest. But, you know, higher risk, higher reward, I guess. We'll move to the next, and that is going to be Stellar Crown. I think this will do better than some of the other ones in this tier, and that's mainly because you have the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur, and those are really cute looking cards. The Squirtle is worth a little over $100. You have the Bulbasaur, which is right near $100. But I will say the sealed prices are absolutely terrible for this. You have over a $300 booster box and about $155 ETB. Just the price for it really is kind of crazy. So I might knock it down underneath Paradox just because I really don't know. I think it's a little bit difficult to say just because I mean the Dash Bun's cute, don't get me wrong. That's about $60. Then it falls off to about $38 with Terapagos, $35 with Hydrapple. Then it drops to under $20 for the cards. We really need to kind of wonder how much actual chance you have of making your money back if you were to buy a booster box. And the chance really, if I'm going to be honest, is super low. So then let's move to Surging Sparks. This one is going to go into probably going to make you money. And the reason for that is there's just so many good cards in it. The Pikachu, of course, the Booty Chew, as they call it, is worth about $300. You have the Latias, which is worth about $170. You have the Milotic, which is worth about $120. And then it really falls off after that. You have the Latios at about $35, the Hydreigon at about $33, and then it kind of moves on down. but the prices for it is not bad whatsoever. You have a booster box at $291. I want to make it clear, Stellar Crown booster box costs more than that. And you have so many more just better cards that you can get from Surging Sparks on the price to risk ratio for that. The ETB is only worth about 127 bucks. So you have a lot better of a chance at accumulating more of this so you can sell it for more. The fact that Stellar Crown has more cost than Surging Sparks in my mind is absolutely crazy. But here we are. The prediction and the thing that I said last time stays the same. I cannot think of a better set to accumulate even at these prices. And the reason I say that is the Umbreon over $1,300, the Sylveon over $400, Leafeon over $300, Espeon about $300, Vaporeon about $280, and the Glaceon about $220, Flareon about $210, Jolteon about $200. You also have Roaring Moon at about $170, Eevee at $170. Then you have Dragapult at $110, Ceruledge at about $95. It's just such a good thing to collect. I know that it's like the premium set of this entire era, but the thing is it it's going to be printed more and more and more, and we still see the prices going up and up. It's absolutely crazy. The 8-pack mini tins are worth about 280 bucks. That's okay. SPCs are about 258. That's relatively okay. Just keep in mind there are not booster boxes for this because of the type of set it is. So we can't really gauge based off of booster box price. But this really is just it's the set of Scarlet and Violet. People say 151 is. No, Prismatic is it. It's the same thing almost as Evolving Skies, and it has just as good of cards in it. And now we're going to go to something else. Journey Together, I would put probably at the bottom of mid. And the reason for that is the prices aren't too terrible, and it had, you know, I think I'm going to put it at the top of trying to burn your money. Now that I think about it a little bit more, the prices aren't too terrible. It's about 265 bucks for a booster box and about 130 for an ETB. And I mean, the Lewis Clefairy is over $100, but then it really falls off down to the Salamence, which is about 60 bucks. The Enzoroark has really tanked. It's about $45. The Iono is about $30. The Hop Zacian is about $30 as well. The thing is I think this one is going to see a little bit more of a resurgence, but I don't really know where the best place to buy into this is because the prices are pretty expensive, don't get me wrong, but not quite as expensive as, say, Stellar or Temporal Forces. So let's move to the other thing that I got ridiculously wrong, and that's Destined Rivals. Last time I put Destined Rivals in mid. I think this one's going to be probably going to make you money for the main reason that it's super expensive. Don't get me wrong. A booster box is a little under $500. A ETB is about 141, which is kind of crazy compared to how much Stellar Crown is. Excuse me, but the Team Rocket's Mewtwo is about $530. The Cynthia's Garchomp is about $217. The Ho-Oh is about $150. You have Team Rocket's Nidoking at about 100, Moltres at about 85, and then it keeps going down. The Psyduck, I thought the Psyduck was going to do really well, but that's actually decreased in price in the last year. It's about $62. Crobat's about $60. I think it's a little bit better than Surging Sparks, if I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't say to sell your kidney for it, but I do think it's very, very good. And now this is a little bit weird, but I am going to put Black Bolt and White Flare right there. And the reason for that is I'll go over Black Bolt first and then White Flare. Black Bolt has some amazing cards in it. It's it's crazy how expensive some of these cards are. If you haven't paid attention, I think this is the long shot thing that I said was probably going to make you money. I put it in A tier last time. I had people making fun of me for it. And I truly think that this was the long shot that really paid off if you put the money into it. The Zekrom is about $570. The Victini, $550. Then you have the other Zekrom, $250. The Seismitoad, about $225. The ETB, though, is about 160 bucks. That's pretty crazy for a price like this. The booster bundle is about 80 bucks. Kind of crazy. But let's go over to White Flare. The Victini, about 575 bucks. The Reshiram, about 500 bucks. Then you have the other Reshiram, about 200. The Reshiram is absolutely amazing looking. I love the white out card. I think it looks great. But then you have like the Unova Heavy Hitters has both Black Bolt and White Flare. That's about $180. The ETB for White Flare is about $145, and the booster bundle is about 75. I truly think that this is pretty close to what I was guessing before, but I will admit I was wrong on 151 in Destined Rivals. I think I was a little bit too harsh on Shrouded Fable. I think that appreciated a lot more than what people were expecting. Um, I truly, I think I hit the nail on the head with Black Bolt and White Flare. I truly, 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 and I mean this, I'm so happy that it did as well as it did. I almost have none of that. Prismatic really is one of those. I think it's going to do great for basically all time. I think it's going to be just like Evolving Skies. 151, I really hate the set, but I think it's going to do very well. Paldean Fates, if you get the Bubble Mew or the Charizard, you're sitting pretty, but I think we're kind of at the peak of what the prices are for Paldean Fates on the sealed, because it's kind of getting to the point where it's kind of ridiculous. And I feel the same for 151. I think Prismatic is in its own tier. I think it's cheap for what's in it, truly, because you can get a God Pack. And I know I talk about this a lot in that last video I did a year ago, but having a God Pack option and a bit availability is absolutely insane. To be able to make potentially like $3,000 if you were to turn around and sell the cards from the pack you pull. Say I pull every single evolution, I really am close to about $3,000, maybe $2,500 if I'm going to be honest. But Destined Rivals keeps getting printed because everybody loves this set. It's the Team Rocket set. It really is cool. I'll be honest, I like it for the Ethan's Typhlosion. That was the first Pokemon line that I ever played in the game, so I have a little bit of a soft spot for it in my heart. But Black Bolt and White Flare, I think is still going to do really good. And the reason for that is the monochrome color cards. The Victini, I'll be honest, I don't really like. I really wish they would have done Victini for one of them and then maybe another Pokemon for another. I don't know what that would be. I think Victini would fit really good in White Flare as the kind of alternate chase, even though Victini's worth a little bit more than the Reshiram, so I guess Reshiram's the alternate chase, sort of. But I think they could have had another Pokemon, say another Mythical or something like that, as a monochrome card in Black Bolt, and I think it could have done really well. But who am I to tell them how to do their jobs? They should have put the Mega Granite, or excuse me, the Mega Gengar in Phantasmal Flames. We all know they meant to do that. Anyway, Anyway, Surging Sparks I think is going to do good. It's the typical Pikachu set, but the thing is I don't think it's near as good as some of these ones up here. I think it's arguable whether or not it will beat Destined Rivals or Black Bolt and White Flare. I think there's a good chance it does long term, but this is still my long shot pick. I think it's a coin flip of which is better out of Paldea Evolved and Twilight Masquerade. I just have Twilight a little bit higher because it has some more of those higher priced cards. Journey got downgraded from last time, if I recall correctly. I thought it would do a lot better, and I'll be honest. The waifu boom of cards is kind of dying down, but I really wasn't expecting Enzoroark to not really be worth anything anymore. I was expecting that card to do better and appreciate over time instead of depreciate. Paradox Rift is kind of forgettable, I'll be honest. There's nothing super crazy about it. I absolutely love that, excuse me, the Groudon, but you can't have one card carry the entire set if it's not like crazily priced. Same thing with Stellar Crown. I really like the Terapagos art, but it just doesn't do that much. The Shrouded Fable, I love the Persian. Pheasantipity is great for the game, but the thing is you can't base it off of, like I said, a not super crazy valuable card. Pheasantipity will always have a good space in the heart of every single player. They'll either despise it with a burning passion or they'll absolutely love it. Temporal Forces is that same kind of forgettable. I don't really know what more to say about it. Ghastly's kind of cool, but like, are we really going to go that head over heels for Temporal Forces, especially at the prices that it's at now? I don't like I don't, excuse me. I don't really like Obsidian Flames. I think it's an okay thing. But I mean the thing is it's kind of mid. It really is. It's just Charizards, and the real chase really is that PSA 10 Charmander. And that's not how you should be looking at this. If you're relying on a PSA 10 to get you the value in a set, you're cooked. You're absolutely just slaughtered when it comes to that. And finally is base set Scarlet and Violet. It's just kind of lacking. If you really want to collect the Gardevoir, Curlia, and Ralt, I suggest you just go buy those cards because the prices for Scarlet and Violet are just kind of astronomically too high. But if you enjoy stuff like this, I will move my ugly mug out of the way. Let's zoom in really quick so you can see it. If you enjoy stuff like this, please subscribe. I wanted to do something a little bit different, but we will get back into playing. We will get back into doing stuff at card shows, and I hope you join us for that journey. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you back very soon.